This is my current welding setup. I just purchased the Arc Captain MIG welder, and I'm going to integrate it into my Lincoln welding cart that I built about 25 years ago. That's a handheld, or that's a small oxyacetylene welding set. The tote is full of welding supplies. My new argon CO2 bottle there is a gray one. And here are the materials that I'm going to make the new cart out of. Some 1/2-inch round rod, some looks like 16 gauge steel that I got from a guy scrapping out stuff. And then here's some more supplies for the new Arc Captain. So let's get started. In case you're wondering, I do have a set of plans I drew up, so I'm not just willy-nilly this thing together. However, it will probably look like I did. Off camera, I set up the machine and did a couple practice patches. Once it cools down, I'll cut it in half, see what kind of penetration I've got. I'm not really planning on welding this thick of material. That's a 1/4-inch plate with 1/8-inch rebar, but it doesn't look too bad. There's the weld cut in half. Looks like it has a little bit of void underneath it, but for a welding table it'll be fine. Off camera, I cut and tack welded the bottle rack. Nothing really difficult about that. Didn't want to bore you. Next up will be the rack mounts for the MIG. As what seems to happen a lot, went to do a fit check on the bottle. It didn't fit. So I assume the second bottle won't fit, since they're both sized the same. Back to the drawing board. Well, in a shop that I used to work in, our favorite motto, at least mine, it looks nice because we do it twice. This rusty old pipe, square bar, square tube, will become the side extensions for the bottle rack. I've got my new side extensions marked out, and we'll come back after they're cut out. Okay, they're cut out, ready to be formed. I'm going to fold that lower lip down to make a 45 on the leading edge. I'll leave the backs open for now. It gives me options. Okay, they're both formed and we're ready for some tacks. Then we can mount them on the frame and start on the rack again. And there they are, welded up, ground down, ready to weld on the frame. I haven't figured out if I'm a welder or a grinder yet. One of those two. Well, there's one side lower welded in. Not bad for really the first time using a MIG. But we can only get better. And there's the top. Nothing grinding can't make good, right? With a real feel of 108 today. I think I'm done working on this today. I'll get back on it in the morning. We have to install the stiffener here, the plate over the whole area here for bottle support. I think that's going to be 4 inches above the floor here, and that's going to be for clearance for the power cable for the TIG. And then we'll build our rack up off each side across the top, and then the supports going out for the bed for the TIG welder. I've cut all the support arms off of the former bottle rack, and now I'm going to make support structures for the new bottle racks out of it. One more tack and the rack is square. Then I can put the tank divider in and build the floor. The exterior framework is in for the bottle floor. This will give me clearance for the TIG welder's power cable. It comes out the bottom, and I've clearanced a little bit right here so that the plug can fit either vertically or horizontally. The bottle plate appears to be all welded in, and if you remember, I said you're either a welder or a grinder. Looks like I'm a grinder. When a grinder thinks he can weld, looks a lot better than last night. Still have some final shaping to do for the welds, but for the most part the bottle rack is done. The black knobs came with the 1/2-inch rod that I recycled out of a guy's machine shop. There are what going to hold on my safety chains. Just have to find a chain that'll slip over. Might be a little excessive, but I won't have to weld it, and I can just unscrew the knobs when I want to take a bottle out. The safety chains are installed. I had to change up my design. The chain link to fit over a 1/2-inch solid rod is weight rated at almost 3,000 pounds, and I don't need a 3,000 pound chain to hold a bottle back. And there it is with the initial MIG stand on it. Still have to do the cross members through the middle, but it is on. A trial fit to see if my ideas are going to work. Looks like it will. Gonna have a few extra inches on either side of the MIG welder, but that's fine. I'll trim this edge off and then probably just stitch weld those panels in there, and then that'll be fine. Have some airflow underneath the bottom there, and it should be good. Major fabrication is complete. Couple hooks for the hoses and guns and a paint job, and it's done. There's the TIG welder, the oxyacetylene, there's the argon bottle back there. This is all work getting towards that project, the 48. Quick shot of semi-gloss, actually coat of black rust reform and 2 coats of semi-gloss, and tomorrow we'll put it together.